Good day, family. We're here for another day of the 10% Happier self-care journey. And so today's topic, because of the nature of today's topic, we're going to start off with a short meditation first and then go into the topic of the day. Thank you to everybody that's watching now and those that will be watching. Why can't I paste my notes? I'm sorry. Trying to copy and paste and okay. So maybe for some reason, hey Jessica, thanks for hanging out. For some reason my notes are not pasting to the chat, so I'm going to have to do this afterward. Or if somebody has the ability to, if you could jump onto my page, you can copy and paste the notes. Well, anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get started. So today's topic, I figured we do the 30-second meditation topic first, or the 30-second meditation first, and then we'll go into it. Jessica says, how are you going to do this topic when I'm about to go on to an interview? I feel you, Jessica. I am so sorry. From now on, it'll be at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, so it'll be a bit more predictable. But please do come back and check out the video later if you get a chance. So I like to do the 30-second meditation technique. This is something that I came up with, and it's just 3 deep breaths followed by 10 seconds of mindfulness. And the goal is to just decompress and to show you that, and to show all of us, remind us rather, that you don't need ideal circumstances or long periods of time or candles or the perfect Aaron Hill breath of life music in the background available on all platforms. Just search Aaron Hill breath of life. You don't need that in order to quote unquote meditate. You just need to tune in for a few and just be present. So 30 seconds. Everybody has that. And you don't need to close your eyes and all those things. Jessica says we'll be back, I'm sure, after to share my thoughts. Yes. Thank you, Jessica, and wishing you the best with your interview. So if you could just settle in where you are, you can close your eyes or not. I'm going to close my eyes just because it allows me to settle in a bit more. And we're just going to take 3 deep breaths, long inhales and long exhales. We're going to inhale through our nose and out through our mouth. And the goal is to just do something that's so vital, but yet we often overlook. And that's just to take a deep breath, to feed our body the oxygen, to decompress, to slow our heart rate down. So let's take a deep breath in and out. Let's take another deep breath in and out. And let's take one more deep breath in and out. And now you can continue with that same kind of breathing pattern, or you can allow your breath to go back to normal. But let's just take 10 more seconds to stay in that place and to just detach from as many things that's on our mind as possible. Just let them be, and we'll go back to entertaining them after this 10 seconds. But let's just be in this moment of just breathing and just being present. You don't have to try to shut your thoughts off, because honestly, this is the times when your thoughts will all rush and you'll think about everything that you have to do and all the responsibilities. But the goal, the way that I see it, is to allow that to kind of be like a river. It's like a river that you're just watching go downstream, and you're on the side of the river. So you're not stopping the stream, but you're also not in the midst of it getting washed downstream as well. So let's just take 10 more seconds of being in that space. Now I invite you to return back into the stream of consciousness and the stream of FB Live. Let's get into it. Good day to everybody. Anthony, thanks for hanging out. Jessica and everybody else. 10% Happier Self-Care Journey. Today is 4/9/20. I'm an April baby. My birthday is April 28th, so I think every time I say a date, you all might hear like a little bit of a lift in my voice this month, because it's April and I love spring. Spring has sprung, and yeah, I'm just enjoying it. So today's topic is veganism, vegetarianism, and ethics. And so to give a little bit of background, I'm in the 10% Happier course that you can find on Android or iOS devices. And it's a course created by Dan Harris. That's a group of mini courses from different authors, little mini courses. And there are different topics dealing with meditation, mindfulness, and everything you can imagine as far as just dealing with day-to-day life. Dealing with emotions, dealing with other people's feelings, just all kinds of things. And I like it because it's more of a secular course, so they hit the range of topics and it doesn't feel like very preachy and that kind of thing. Tyrone Wright, thanks for hanging out, brother. So as you can see, if you've been following along, I've been through loving kindness and talking about gratitude and burnout and compassion and all kinds of things. And now today we're talking about veganism, so you can see how wide the subjects stretch. I'm enjoying this though because I have a personal connection to the lifestyle of veganism, because last year I went totally vegan for 4 months straight. 4 months straight, no meat, no animal products as far as food was concerned, no dairy and that kind of thing. And I did it for several different reasons, which I'll talk about. And now, for anyone who is 100% truly, strictly vegan, there's two sides of veganism. We'll talk about it here. One is the side about, what you consume. The other has to do with like anything dealing with animal products, whether it's a belt, whether it's a pair of leather shoes, like whatever. So I didn't go vegan from that perspective. But the perspective of diet, I did 4 months straight, 100% vegan, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. It was something. Hey Linwood, how's it going, bro? Thanks for hanging out, man. I really enjoyed it because I approached it for a couple of different reasons. Mine was part moral, part health. I knew that some of the dangers and some of the different things with eating meat and dairy products and that kind of thing. Became educated on that over the years, really, and wanted to decrease as far as that. And then on the other side, as far as, animals and the moral aspect of not wanting to harm animals in that way. So those two things. And then I also wanted to become more healthier and lose weight as well. And so I was able to lose 30 pounds from, being on a vegan diet. And that was really good because I reached my goals and I felt healthier. I looked healthier. And yeah, eventually, as I said, that was 4 months straight. So obviously, at some point I went back to eating meat. But that's mainly been due to just kind of day to day, just kind of making it through and survival, so to speak. No excuses necessarily, but I allowed myself to eat a little bit more. And the good thing, at least for me and my goals, is that I'm like eating nowhere near the amount of meat that I used to. I would say honestly, out of 100%, I would say my diet is maybe 15%, meat. And the goal is eventually go back full-time to veganism because I just really enjoyed it, So that's my goal, and I'll be taking you all on that journey too. And yeah, so that's my personal connection to it and a bit of my story. Definitely felt a whole lot better. You know, even though I'm allowing myself, you know, an amount of meat in my diet, I'm still no dairy. I still don't do dairy, and so I've been enjoying that a lot. So let's get into some of the topics. Some of the notes for the day. And like I said, since I can't paste them to the chat because obviously my copy and paste didn't work before I came here, I'm going to do it afterwards. And you can also see it on my Facebook page. Veganism, vegetarianism, and ethics. So first things first, let no one judge you for your choice to be or not to be vegan, vegetarian, pescatarian, etc. And we'll talk about what those are if you've never heard of all those terms or know the difference. It's a personal choice derived for various reasons: health, ethics, environmental, and religious or spiritual reasons. Let nobody judge you. That's the first thing. You know, any change in diet, whether it's due to any one of those 5 reasons, is your personal choice. And you shouldn't let anybody judge you. And you shouldn't judge anybody else as well. Because, and this is coming from a secular humanist standpoint, we're the ones making up the rules, and we're the ones that's evolving from stage to stage as far as ethics, what we call ethical, what we see as right and wrong. And because I don't believe in a deity that hands down those ideas to us and that kind of thing, I believe, hey Dennis, thanks for hanging out. Hey Lenny, thanks for hanging out, bro. Because of that, I believe that the truth is, even those of us that feel that our morals and our rights are wrong and handed down by a deity, I still believe what we're actually doing is deciding for ourselves and in group consciousness what is moral, what's right and wrong. And because of the fact that we have books and different traditions that have already laid it out for us, you know, and we have beliefs about where it came from, I believe we ascribe those that morality to those books or to those deities. But I believe ultimately it's just us, and we're just seeing it that way, that we believe that the words of our former ancestors that were writing on behalf of deities and that kind of thing. That's my perspective on it. And I have respect for people that have different beliefs because I've had different beliefs. But the point is, nobody should judge you for your choice, and you shouldn't judge anyone else for your choice. Some people change their diet to veganism, vegetarianism, etc. for health reasons. That was one for me. Ethics, as far as, you know, morality, that was another side of my coin. Environmentalism, and I'm going to maybe look it up while we're doing this. It cannot be doubted, because the statistics and the science show that the meat industry, especially our current meat industry, which is horrendous, is actually terribly affecting our environment from the perspective of climate change and other polluting kind of factors. That can't be denied, because that is an absolute fact. And then last but not least, some people do it for religious or spiritual reasons. You know, if you're Muslim, you don't eat pork, you know, even though you're not vegan, but that's, you know, an example of it. You know, if you're Jewish, then, you know, you don't deal with certain things like shellfish and these other kind of things. So those are the reasons why no one should judge you. You should judge no one else. Let's go into this is going to be pretty informational today. The main difference between veganism and vegetarianism. According to the Vegetarian Society, a vegetarian is someone who does not eat any meat, poultry, game, fish, shellfish, or byproducts of animal slaughter. Vegetarian diets contain various levels of fruits, vegetables, grains, pulses, nuts, and seeds. I don't know what pulses are. I'm going to have to look that up. The inclusion of dairy and eggs depends on the type of diet you follow. So this is what I wanted to explain as far as these differences, because most people would say, like, you know, what's the difference between being vegetarian and being vegan? So the most common types of vegetarians include lacto-ovo vegetarians, which are vegetarians who avoid all animal flesh, but do consume dairy and egg products. That would be probably the most familiar definition of vegetarian that I have been familiar with for years. It was the person who didn't eat meat, but they did consume dairy and egg products, which come from animals. So, they don't eat animals in one regard, but in another regard, they do partake in animal products. That's lacto-ovo vegetarians. The second one is just lacto-vegetarians, which are vegetarians who avoid animal flesh and eggs, but do consume dairy products, like milk and cheese and those kind of things. And the funny thing was, and this was due to my own ignorance, I didn't realize that eggs weren't considered a dairy product. I didn't know that. I thought that they fell in line, but that's probably because I always saw it on that food group chart that we've had for years. That's not quite the most accurate now that we know, but it was what we used for years. And I think eggs was always on there. I might be mistaken, but I feel like I did. And then other than that, I would see it with breakfast with other dairy products. So that's lacto. Ovo vegetarians are vegetarians who avoid all animal products except for eggs. And then you have vegans. And here they say vegetarians who avoid all animal and animal-derived products. So that was what I was talking about earlier, where it's not just that as a vegan you don't consume any animal products, but you also don't support anything made, whether it's clothing or anything else that's made using an animal. So many people who are strictly vegans don't wear leather belts and leather shoes and those kind of things. Those who do not eat meat or poultry, but do consume fish, are considered pescatarians. People who do not eat meat or poultry, but they do consume fish. And I always found that interesting because I always considered fish meat, but I guess in this definition it's not. Whereas part-time vegetarians are often referred to as flexitarians. Although sometimes considered vegetarians, pescatarians and flexitarians do eat animal flesh. Therefore, they do not technically fall under the definition of vegetarianism. And that's what I was just thinking, because animal flesh, I would consider that meat. But I can see that where the differentiation is made here. But yeah, so they said they do not technically fall under the definition of vegetarianism. So here's the bottom line of that. Vegetarian diets exclude meat, poultry, game, fish, and shellfish. Certain types of vegetarians also exclude eggs, dairy, or other animal byproducts as well. Byproducts meaning sneakers and leather belts and those kind of things. And insufficient. Well, let me stop there. So that's what sums everything up. Basically, you're vegetarian if you don't eat meat, but you still eat dairy products and that kind of thing. But then there's a breakdown with that. They come in different categories. And then you are vegan if you avoid all those. So when people would ask me, it'd be a lot of times what people would say, and even to this day, are you vegan? And so I would always say, thanks a lot, Dennis. Dennis says, great info and good afternoon, kin folks. Thanks a lot, Dennis. Good afternoon to you too, bro. So people would often ask me if I was vegan, and it was funny because it was weird, not weird, but it would always make me laugh how I had to answer the question. Hey, Russell, thanks for hanging out. The way I would answer it two ways. The first way is me just being silly me, right? Hey, Monique, thanks for hanging out. The first way I would answer it would be me being silly me. So they would say, are you vegan? And I'd say, yes, I'm vegan when I'm not eating meat. So, and the funny thing was I was being silly, but actually, the truth to it. The second way I would say that, and I'll come back to the first, is that, and a friend of mine mentioned this to me the other day, and it reminded me, like, yeah, that's right. The way to answer the statement is, no, I'm not vegan, but I do have a plant-based diet. I have a plant-based diet. And I would always say the foundation of my diet was vegan. And so I'm vegan when I'm not eating meat. And that's because I desired, and this is the way many people approach it, especially if you approach it for moral reasons and health reasons, it's hard many times to go cold turkey. And I'm a person that can go cold turkey. That's why for 4 months I was vegan. But that could be a big drastic change for many people in lifestyle. So what happens more so, that's more realistic and practical a lot of times, is that people just decrease the amount of meat that they have in their diet or the amount of dairy products. Hey, Deborah, thanks for hanging out. Hope your day is well. And they decrease it. And so that's what it is in my diet. Like when I wake up, the first thing I eat most of the time is steel cut oatmeal, and now I do eggs again, but for a while I wasn't doing eggs. Hey, Roni, thanks for hanging out. For a while I wasn't doing eggs. I would just do steel cut oatmeal, or I would wind up doing a green smoothie, which I probably, now that I'm talking about it, look right after this video, I'm going to put up another video that's just called green smoothie. And it made me think of a video I had a while back that I never put out. Look for a video as soon as we finish this. I'm going to edit it in like 10 minutes and hurry up and put it up. It's going to be called green smoothie, and just check it out. I'm showing how I make my smoothie. So I usually do that. And then as I go throughout the day, most of the time I don't have meat. I love some jerk chicken. I love curry chicken. I have it at least once a week religiously. And it's been like that for years, right? So being realistic and practical is the thing. And that's why we started off with the don't judge yourself and don't judge others if you decide to change your diet. I think it is, when you learn the health benefits, when you learn the environmental benefits, and then if you have some kind of different feeling about animals, like it all together, it does equal, like it feels better and you feel healthier and that kind of thing. Yeah, so okay, next point. Now, here's what we're going to get into just for a second, like FWIW, for what it's worth, right? And I also put this article up on my page too, and I'll come back and put it in this chat in order for you to refer to. These are just some other information. If a person decided to go vegan or vegetarian, whether part-time or full-time or a little bit or whatever, these are just some things to think about as you make the change. Because you know how they say with some things, contact your doctor or touch bases with your doctor before, and you're kind of looking at it sometimes like, why would I do that? Like, this not that deep. And sometimes it's not, but it's just that there are little things to be mindful of so that it doesn't get that deep. Okay, so here we go. And wait, I gotta laugh about something like that real quick. So then it says, this is crazy that you're doing this today when I ordered Dr. Sebi's book a few days ago. That's what the hell I'm talking about, bro. Dr. Sebi is the man. Dr. Sebi, I'm sorry. Dr. Sebi is the man. And, I don't know how you feel about this, Dennis, but like there's a whole conspiracy, around like all of his stuff and why he's not even here with us right now because of his works and how deep and how great they were. But Dr. Sebi is the man, and he had a lot, and he has a lot of resources to key us into things. So please come back, drop some information to us here, back to this chat, and man, school us with what you're learning as you grab that book. Because I would love to talk with you about it. In fact, maybe we can even do an IG live where you and I chop it up. Yes, sir. Confirmation. Hey, Matt, thanks for hanging out, bro. I appreciate you. So here's a few things for us to think about, right? Real simple. An insufficient intake of nutrients such as omega-3 fatty acids, calcium, and vitamins D and B12 can negatively impact various aspects of health, including mental and physical health. And I should have did a prerequisite right before I said that statement. when entertaining veganism or vegetarianism to any degree, these are things that you have to be mindful of, because there are certain things that you naturally get from eating meat that you will have to change. You will have to supplement, and you will have to supplement in other ways. And there's ways to do that, but you have to know that, because it doesn't just equal being healthier just because you take something out of your diet. You have to replace it, especially if your body needs it or is used to it. So you have to look out for that. Omega-3s, calcium, vitamin D, and vitamin B12, especially B12 for people that are going strict vegan. And it can have a negative impact. So you want to look out for that. You want to look into your supplements. You want to look into your other foods that replace that. And even if need be, which I highly recommend, because I'm no professional, you should, check in with someone who has more information, and that's what they do for a living, a health professional or what have you, dietitian. A vegan diet may be better than a vegetarian diet for controlling weight and reducing the risk of certain diseases. However, if not well planned, a vegan diet is more likely to cause nutrient deficiencies. Again, it doesn't make it all bad, so don't jump off the boat there, because for 4 months I was straight vegan and I was not deficient in anything, iron or any of that, and I felt incredible. That's why I want to go back to it full time again. And why, even though I eat meat, it's only 10 to 15, maybe 20% of what I used to. And I eat no dairy. So a vegan diet may be better, but you have to watch out for those deficiencies. But it is better for controlling weight and reducing the risk of certain diseases. Kyra, how are you today? Thanks for hanging out. Last piece of information here, and then we'll pretty much wrap it up. No matter what type of diet you adhere to, be mindful and respectful of others' diets and non-judgmental of the choices you or others make for themselves, while still respectfully voicing your opinion or sharing your perspective, education, or information. I actually need to put that up as an original quote because I forgot to, and I'm going to do it while I am talking to you all right now. And be sure to go back and let me know if you see that and drop a line on that. But yeah, that's the most important part. It's really back to where we started. Really, no matter what your choice is, what you choose, and what you do for your various reasons, be respectful to others, right? Be respectful to others for what they choose. And that doesn't mean, because this is one of the things we've been talking about in this course, even not related to food, but just related to morals and ethics. It's you can find that in-between place. And that in-between place is you can have your thoughts, your opinions, your views. You can have that. And you can even have your perspectives where you really feel like you have something better to offer to people or something to enlighten them with. That's all good. But at the same time, hey Lester, hey Alice, thanks for hanging out. At the same time, while that's the case, be able to have that space where you can still respectfully support others, or even not support them, but allow them to be themselves and make their choices while still offering what you have. This is how I feel every day when it comes to not only the subject like this or other various topics like religion or spirituality. I have my view of things that differs from other people that are in my circle or other people that I'm very close to. But I respect their choice. I respect that works for their lifestyle. And I can still put up some information on my timeline that challenges your thought or makes you think for a second or makes you or invite you. I love the word invite. And I was mentioning this to a friend the other day. There's a total different energy between telling somebody what they should do or telling somebody what the truth is or telling somebody what they need to know, what they need to understand. I remember I used to have a homeboy who used to say that all the time. What you need to understand is what you... And I'm like, how fucking arrogant. That you even are starting off from a place of assuming that I don't understand just because I don't think the same way that you think. How ignorant, how arrogant. But I realized that was his conditioning. But there's a total different approach to telling someone or coming from that energy and inviting someone into maybe a different way of looking at things, or inviting someone, hey Tara, thanks for hanging out, or inviting someone into something that they might not have known before, something that they might not have been aware to or aware of, and saying like, here's another way of looking at it. I still have respect if this is not for you, but I feel like I have something to offer. There's a space in between that you can occupy where it doesn't have to be black or white. And so I encourage us to do that for ourselves as we go through and as we sort through things, or to offer this same thing for others. Hi, Tara. Matt says, I agree. Too many people spend energy and time worrying about what, who, how, what, who, how other people do, eat, live, and love. Yes, you couldn't be more correct. And like I said, there's a way to spend that time and be an asset to people. Be an asset, not an asshole. That's my next quote, y'all. I'm putting that up on Facebook. Y'all gonna witness me putting this on Facebook right now. Be an asset. Almost forgot how to spell asset for a second. Be an asset, not an asshole. And that's the real deal. I'm putting my name on this. This is my stamp. I'm putting my name on it. If somebody asks you who said it, you won't even have to say Aaron Hill said it, and then just point him to say. Be an asset, not an asshole. Like real talk, because there's a fine line between that, and there's a fine line between like really having an opinion that is justifiable, just like everybody else has an opinion, and like being an asshole, like just being rude and disrespectful, and not caring about what other people think or feel. Like, tone is everything. That's another one of those quotes that I put up on Facebook. Tone is everything, and it's not what you say, it's how you say it. So that's why I wanted to, even with this topic, I was at first, and this is another one of those moments where I continue to have, where I'm not second guessing myself, because at first with going through this topic this morning, I was like, am I going to do a live stream about this? Am I even going to take notes? Because it's like, I don't want to come off as preachy. I don't want to come off as like, this is the way, because there are many people who deal with veganism or vegetarianism who are like that, who literally come off and are like, basically, here's what you need to know. And if you don't know this or you don't adhere to this, then you're the one that's in the wrong, and you're just deluded. Like that's like, nobody can hear you when your tone is off, no matter if your words are spot on. If your tone is off, this is one reason why I can't do church. It's hard as hell to have a man or woman standing up there yelling and screaming at you about something that really is gentle and kind. Like if you're talking about love, like I'm just like, okay. But I respect that for other people though. That's the way they need to hear it. That's what works for them. And I understand, I empathize, because it used to work for me. But it's another one of those things that allows me to know this. So I appreciate being able to learn this in the midst of talking about diet and veganism, in the midst of talking about religion or spirituality, in the midst of talking about politics, in the midst of talking about music, in the midst of talking about everything. And so that's where we leave off with this. No matter what type of diet you adhere to, be mindful and respectful of others' diets and non-judgmental of the choices you or others make for themselves, while still respectfully voicing your opinion or sharing your perspective, education, or information. And you can take that quote that I just wrote, and you could literally substitute the word diet with any other subject, and that whole quote will work, and it's still the same point and the same principle that I need to remind myself of every day, and that we all need to remind ourselves of. So yeah, that's that. Then it says, exactly, we share the experience and knowledge to uplift others. And Tara gives a thumbs up. Thank you so much. Hey, Alice. Thank you all, everyone, for watching. Thank you for hanging out for a few minutes. I hope that all is well for you during this time. My goal is to provide as many resources and as much information and as much of my experience as possible to entertain, educate, and inspire in general in life, like I've been doing, but even more crucially during times like this. So I'm excited and I'm having fun doing this. So thank you for joining me. Look for the notes. I put it on my timeline, but I'm also going to paste it here, the notes and the link to that article as soon as we hang up. And also, right after this, look on my timeline in the next 10 minutes for Green Smoothie, or my YouTube channel, Aaron Hill TV, wherever you want to look. And then, and last but not least, if you would like to help me to make more content like this, then also look out for that info in the description as well, how you can support me. And that's about it. Other than that, happy Thursday to you. Look out for In the Shed tonight, my interactive practice show for musicians, artists, and most importantly, professional shower singers. That's at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight. And that's every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. And then on Fridays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, tune into, I guess it's the same thing, tune into the Serenade, which is a solo piano concert. Right now, this coming Friday, I'm on volume 6. Every single week, I'm releasing a new album. And so I released volume 5. You can check that out on aaronhilltv.com or all the platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, all that kind of stuff, as well as the ones before that. So join me tomorrow for that at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that's about it. So peace, be well, and I'll talk to you all soon. Take care. Thank you.